Okay, so following the chapter one discussion on the basics of entrepreneurship. Here in chapter two, opportunity recognition and design thinking is being emphasized. Wherein it is mentioned here that the expected objectives to learn from this chapter are the following. Okay. Discuss opportunity recognition concepts and methods by the leading thinkers like Drucker, Mitchell's Computer and Vesper, and describe what is the concept of design thinking and how do we apply this design thinking to develop and venture on new ideas. So, as an introduction for chapter two, this is when we try to see how entrepreneurs um, find ways to use these resources and the information together and be able to create something new out of it. So they do not only see the system as it is, but they also look forward to what it might be. How will it be of a contribution to one's society or one's business? They also have this is also when we now emphasize how entrepreneurs see things beyond the box. I think I have already mentioned this in the first chapter. Consequently, following this, they can also spot opportunities that to turn the commonplace into a unique and unexpected one. Okay. For these quotes of Charles Duell and Albert Einstein and Thomas Watson, I want you to compare these three significant quotes coming from three significant people in the past who also had a contribution in identifying what definitions are we or how do we understand the concept of entrepreneurship. For the first one, he said that I almost wish that I might live my life over again to see the wonders which are at the threshold. In my opinion, all previous advances in the various lines of invention will appear totally insignificant to when compared with those which the present century will witness. He is actually also been incorrectly quoted as having said that everything that can be invented has already been invented. Following this, of course, Albert Einstein said that the significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. So I think there is a world market for maybe five computers. I want you to compare all of these ideas and write it as a comment and let's see and discuss in the comments whether let us contribute ideas. How do we understand that these three quotes, significant quotes coming from very important people? So, what really is opportunity recognition? From the word itself, it is when we try, it is when um, entrepreneurs try to spot a possible advantage, or it is when they were able to recognize certain ventures on innovations, creation, which could lead to ultimately profit. But to better understand this, we have authors who have a fair share in identifying what opportunity recognition means. So the first one is Baron, in which he defined opportunity recognition as an active or cognitive process through which individuals conclude that they have identified the potential to create something new that has the potential to generate economic value and that is not currently being exploited or developed and is viewed as desirable or usable or important in the society in which it occurs. So according to him, it should be consistent. The development of these um, venture or possible ventures of a certain resource should be consistent with legal and moral conditions. Okay. This is actually a model from Baron. Let's try to take a look at it. So according to him, this is how he understood the concept of opportunity recognition, wherein education played a vital role in understanding or education means filling up knowledge, filling up for. I think I mentioned this in my earlier video wherein entrepreneurs would the best investment they did is to invest on themselves to learn strategies and skills they should have to become successful entrepreneurs in the market. Now this is what it means, of course, opportunity recognition is also relating to the prior knowledge that an entrepreneur have in market and customer care or problems. And then, of course, the outcome is successfully opportunity recognition, which then results. Okay, then of course, entrepreneurial alertness is in between the outcome and the prior knowledge, and then experience pertains now to the prior knowledge, of course, of the market. And then work experiences and personal experiences is somehow the this is what is pertained to by these experiences. Ibig sabihin, there are certain personal experiences encountered in decision making. May that be work experiences now may focus more on the environment that an entrepreneur may be exposed to, the working ethics and education or knowledge about handling customers and items. So and then following that model, Drucker focused on monitoring 7 sources for innovative opportunity. The first four are internally focused within the business or industry and that they may be visible to those involved in the business. And these are the unexpected success, failure, or outside events, the incongruity between reality as it is actually is and reality as it is assumed to be or as it ought to be. It is an innovation based on process need and change in industry structure or market structure. So these things are more like the tangible things that okay, wait, I don't think this is the tangible. Okay. Internally focused would mean that this is only inside the members of the industry or business. Ibig sabihin, this only occur on the conditions of the industry or the business itself being run. And then the externally focused factors are demographics, which is referring to population changes in perception, mood, and meaning, and new knowledge for both scientific and non-scientific. So opportunity recognition, according to Drucker, could also be externally focused, which pertains to the number of population in a certain group or in a certain community, um, the perception of the people who are target consumers and what does that how relevant it may mean for that item or product to be introduced in this community. And of course, new knowledge for both scientific and non-scientific or opportunities for recognition as well. I mean, opportunity recognition in some sense. Mitchell, on the other hand, ventured on new combination. He suggests that there are two consideration or two categories of entrepreneurial discovery or opportunity recognition in some sense. That is scientific discovery and circumstance. When we talk about scientific discovery, this means that it is focusing on physical and technological insight, the new and valuable ways, circumstantial discoveries of any kind, and the specific knowledge of time, place, or circumstance, when and what you know. And then the second set of variables to consider the market imperfection that will create profit opportunities, excess demand, and excess supply. This gives rise to the four types of entrepreneurial discovery under scientific discovery. I mean, entrepreneurial discovery in scientific discovery. So, invention one, example is an airplane, invention of an airplane, because mm, um, it becomes an opportunity to discover and apply the laws of nature to satisfy excess demand. And inventions in one industry have ripple effects in others. Observation, example is the airline industry, need for food service for passengers. Invention two uses science to exploit excess supply. Second most abundant element on Earth after oxygen is silicon microchips. And coordination, producers' capacity to lower prices, which is now the Walmart. So um, this is more like a sequence of how opportunities are seen from a first invention to direct observation, following another invention, and then later on, when this results to certain circumstances, which now exploits supply, for example, in a business and becomes now a producer's advantage, okay, which are also opportunities of business. First competitor, he emphasized five kinds of combination. Okay, within each of the four kinds of entrepreneurial discovery by Mitchell 2000. So first is he focused on new or improved goods and services. Then this more like referred to as distinction between true and promotional differences. Mm, mm, mm. So Scumpeter also is a very important thinker who has given a very good this very substantial contribution to discovering or to identifying opportunity recognition in terms of in entrepreneurship. So he focused on new or improved goods and services. This may be referring to um, services. I think this is more like promotions on certain products. Then he also mentioned about the new method of production. This could pertain to robotics. This could pertain to agricultural processing. So what he did is somehow term it as a general term for those who have a distinct line of output. May that be a good or may that be a service. So he Then followed it with opening of a new market, which focuses on business practices. And the example that was given is Honda was able to create a new market for smaller, modestly powered motorbikes. So it means to say that if some people could not afford those of the um, pricey and bigger model motorcycles that are way too expensive for them, Honda was able to shift its preferences to something more as this to something more affordable. Okay, and then after that, excuse me, he also um added conquest of a new source of supply of raw materials, then reorganization of an industry. Some of this is also very helpful to look into, ano, because as you can see, what Sculptor did is he was able to identify and group together those of the same characteristics and nature. So group them together, and he was able to identify this combination, specific combination into five specific themes, no? And then following this, we also have Murphy. He claimed that there was a single dimensional logic that oversimplified the approach taken to understand entrepreneurial discovery. He was bothered by the notion that um, entrepreneurs either deliberately searched for opportunities that they have discovered. So, but his multi-dimensional model of entrepreneurial discovery suggests that certain opportunities in the market could be recognized into purposeful search. Of course, you have to pay attention to what is the need in a certain community. Kailangan you know what is in demand because others provide the opportunity to the entrepreneurs. Sometimes when we demand for something, it's actually an opportunity for us, for entrepreneurs, to create and offer something, may that be a good or may that be a service. Then through prior knowledge, which has then been mentioned earlier already, entrepreneurial alertness, it means to say that you are, as an entrepreneur, you are aware, you are sensitive to what is a need, what is a demand, and then still purposeful search and a combination of lucky happenstance and deliberate searching for opportunities. Research really is very important when we try to look into opportunities for business. Then, according to Vesper, there has to be experimentation research. See, Vesper also actually has quite a identified several ways. So he said prior job is also an opportunity to look into something we could create something new from. Then recreation, chance event, and answering discovery questions. But he then categorized these questions as follows. What is bothering me and what might relieve that bother? How could this be made or done differently than it is now? And what else might I like to have? Or how can I follow the family tradition? Oh, so questions based on encounters with a potential customer's request, someone else's idea, or another event. Can I play some role in providing this product or service to a broader market? Could there be a way to do this better for the customer? And based on evaluative reactions to ideas such as, could I do this job on my own instead of as an employee? If people elsewhere went for this idea, might they want it here too? So this is also a very good idea coming from Vesper. He highlighted even um, several mental blocks to departure. He suggested that innovative ideas involve two tasks: to depart from what is usual or customary, and to apply an effective way to direct this departure. It's not easy. It may sound easy as it looks, but it's not easy to dive, deviate from the usual and to be able to come up with a new discovery entirely different from that from which we are used to or accustomed to. So perpetual blocks, emotional blocks, cultural blocks, imagination blocks, and environmental blocks. So given this examples, given this sub concepts in these mental blocks from Vesper, I want you to give me an example for each, like a real scenario for each. Environmental blocks, intellectual blocks, expressive blocks. So understanding this is the first step in figuring out how to cope with them. But Vesper will not left us alone without giving us, of course, some techniques on how to um, what's this overcome these mental blocks. Or you try different ways of looking and thinking about venture opportunities, generate ideas about opportunities and how to exploit them continually. Seeking clues from business and personal contracts, trade shows, may that be, and not being discouraged by others' views because many successful innovations were first thought to be impossible to make, and generating possible solutions to obstacles before stating negative views about them. Use idea generating tricks like brainstorming, considering multiple consequences of possible future events or changes. Now, all this opportunity recognition ultimately leads us to design thinking. When we look into an opportunity, this is now also what the next step is for us to create or design what we thought could be helpful or could be of a great contribution in the market, for example. So it is a human centered approach to innovation that draws the designer's toolkit to integrate the needs of people, the, the possibility of technology, and the requirements for business success. It's entirely a human process and it relies entirely on how a person would um, practice all that he or practice and put into action all that he has learned from prior knowledge, from education, from experiences, evaluative comments, recommendations. So it also relies on our ability to be intuitive, to recognize patterns, to construct ideas that are emotionally meaningful as well as functional. This provides integrated third way. Mhm. And the design thinking process is best thought of a system of overlapping spaces rather than a sequence of orderly steps. So there are three spaces to keep in mind: inspiration, ideation, and implementation. So inspiration is the problem or opportunity that motivates the search for solution. Ideation is the process of generating, developing, testing, and implementation now is the one that leads us to the project stage into people's lives. It's actually very the sequence of the discussion in this chapter 2 is very interesting kasi it's quite confusing at the very beginning, but then what what leads me to understanding this are actually just still the authors contributing all of their knowledge all together. So it might be a little complicated to understand what they want to relay, but if you look into the last part, which is the design thinking, all of the authors or all of the leading thinkers are actually leading us to the implementation stage wherein of course it doesn't mean that you only have to look at the outcome, especially if you're talking about opportunity recognition and design thinking, but I think also we must understand that the process of doing so is also as equally as important as the output. Okay, so it's very challenging, and there's no easy way for a business to be successful. And if you want it big, I think you got to give it also big time. You gotta give more time to it. You got to give more effort to it if you want that big. No. What have you learned from all of these leading thinkers about opportunity recognition and design thinking? Okay, so given this, I want the class to um, create this table, name of the leading thinkers, the concept, and the analysis. I want you to put the specific example on the analysis part, and the concept I want you to like at least mention or directly tell me how you understood the concepts of each of these leading thinkers. Then the analysis would be more like a real life situation examples that could relate to the concept. Following that, I think we already did this at the business plan. Now, this is good because this is already now the opening of the or detailed business proposal that's supposed to be of the final output for this um, class. Okay, so if there are any questions and if there are any more you want to add in the discussions, feel free to just comment down and also state your what's this? State your references where you got this from. Okay, so the code for this is 10102. Okay. Thank you all and see you again on chapter 3.